everyone, welcome back to my channel. If I was rebuilding my wardrobe because suddenly I lost everything or suddenly none of my clothes fit, these are the pieces that I would repurchase. I'll ask myself, what are the functional pieces that really work for my lifestyle and the places I go? I'll then try to match that to my personal style or my personal aesthetic, and ideally we will have a wardrobe or a capsule here where function and style meet. While I hope this video is helpful, if you're looking to rebuild your wardrobe or if you have a gap or two, know that there is no magical list of clothing that is going to work for everyone. But you can absolutely take some inspo if you do spot something that perfectly aligns with your lifestyle and your aesthetic. For my tops, I've decided to do one casual tee, two casual blouses, and then one blouse that's a little bit more dressy. One of my first purchases would actually be a graphic t-shirt. Graphic over white t-shirt because I find these to look a little bit more playful and casual, and I love wearing it with my blazers. The rest of my clothing can feel quite dressy and it's all quite plain, so having the graphic elements and then also the casual tee is one of my more essential pieces in my wardrobe, especially for spring and summer. I wouldn't be too fussed with where I purchase my graphic tee. I feel like Cezanne, Uniqlo, Scotch and Soda are all places where I've purchased graphic tees before. Lightweight blouses are some of my wardrobe staples, and I decided to do two casual blouses. One in a white color. This one is from Uniqlo probably 5 years ago. Even though this is old, I've seen Uniqlo do this all the time, and I would actually purchase this at a more affordable place just because I want something that is actually really light, really sheer, and I feel like you really can't tell the difference between Uniqlo and more high-end. I would easily style this in summer with a silk skirt, and then as it gets cooler, you can definitely layer things on top to make it work for pretty much 3 seasons of the year. Since I picked out a blouse in a lighter color, I thought I would do my other one in a darker shade. So this one is navy with a floral print, and this blouse is from Dowen. I've been wearing shapes like this for a long time, and I just keep gravitating and coming back to them year after year. Part of the reason is because I feel like they work really nice for warmer weather. They're very lightweight, very breezy during the hot days. And then in the transitional season, I can either layer something underneath it or I can just layer on top for a more cozy look. These definitely lean very casual, so I also feel like it looks really nice with some of my dressier pieces. For example, my silk skirts, and then also my more tailored trousers. These are casual, but they do still have some versatility from summer to transitional season and from weekends to a slightly more dressed up, polished look. Since I chose out two casual blouses, I'm gonna choose a more dressy one, and I'm kind of deciding between these two. I can either do this cream one. This one has beautiful drape from Andover Stories, or I can do this Cezanne one, which is in a crossover style. And you know what? They both have beautiful drape. It's really just a color difference that I'm deciding. I feel like since I've already got two white tops, one navy with red, I might actually do the black just for a bigger range. A dressy blouse is perfect for me because I wouldn't prioritize dresses. I would prioritize separates so that I can create the most outfits. I can easily tuck this into a navy silk skirt, for example, and create the illusion of a dress. But at the same time, I can tuck this into jeans or a trouser for a smart casual look. Another reason why I would repurchase this blouse quite early is because it works across a few seasons. I would not wear this in summer because it's too hot, but autumn and spring, it's perfect. And then come winter, I can definitely see myself putting a merino knit under it. It does have a little bit more function, and then since you can layer things underneath, there are also different ways to style it. Before we move on to bottoms, I do want to mention two very boring things I would repurchase, and that is Uniqlo heat tech or kind of heat tech equivalent things. Purchasing these things means that some of my lighter trousers will work easily for the winter, and then with my blouses, I can also put the heat tech top underneath the blouse to make it warmer if I wanted to wear it in colder weather. It's not really a very sexy or exciting item, so I never talk about it, but heat tech is an absolute essential whenever I travel, or whenever I just want to wear some lighter pieces during the colder months. For my bottoms, I've got 5. I chose out 2 skirts. They're very similar because these are the ones I wear the most. I've got 1 pair of jeans and then 2 pairs of trousers. So why don't we start here? These skirts are pretty functional in my wardrobe because I try to wear them for at least 3 seasons of the year. Keeping in mind that I live in a warm climate, I wear these summer, spring, autumn without an issue. These go with a lot of outfits because they're in very neutral colors. When I'm wearing these, even though they're very elegant, I don't really feel too overdressed. They still feel quite casual and effortless. in my wardrobe. This navy one here is from Stories, and it's actually in a viscose. So I previously had a navy silk skirt that unfortunately has a stain that I just cannot remove. It's not like a color stain, it's like a texture stain, which is really weird because I have no idea how it happened. But I did repurchase it because I just cannot fix it, and I went for one from Stories. This one is a little bit longer, which I was also really drawn to, and I do feel like it's a little bit fuller as well on the bottom, and I liked it enough to give it a try, especially because being that it's viscose and Stories, it is a lot more affordable than my silk one. Because it's viscose, it is in a slightly thicker material, so it's a little bit less sheer, it's probably a little bit easier to care for, and I've been pretty happy with this droop. The cream one that I have over here is actually in 100% silk, and this one is from the Australian brand Van Roy. For this one, because it is a little bit long on me, what I do is I actually roll down the waistband a few times, and I can kind of adjust how long I want it to be. And something else to mention is that being cream and silk, it's also a little bit sheer. Not sheer enough that I have to wear a slip, but I usually prefer wearing it with something slightly longer. For my trousers, I've got the cream and then the taupe. This really needs no explanation at this point, but the reason I would repurchase these so quickly is because if I'm pairing it with a white t-shirt or a blouse, it feels really effortless and casual. If this was black, I feel like we start to get a dressier look, and it wouldn't have the lightness and the casualness that this pant offers. These are half synthetic, half cotton, which might not be ideal for some people, but for my own lifestyle, it's perfect because it means that they're machine washable. Being that they're cream, I get stuff on them all the time, and to be able to put some stain remover and then chuck it in my washing machine makes me wear these a lot. In today's video, since we're looking to repurchase things, that's the concept of today's video, these are no longer available, so I'm just gonna find the closest version that is made from like a cotton blend or a cotton, and then I'll link them down below, but it is a shame because these are actually perfect. Since we've got a light colored trouser, the other one I will repurchase is a darker option, and instead of black, I went for taupe. I do have black trousers in my wardrobe, but I find that they can sometimes feel a little bit too formal for me and for my lifestyle. These are from Arket, which is actually one of my favorite places to find trousers. I find that the fit is always good. They often do 100% wool trousers, which are great. I would repurchase these ones because for styling, they pretty much go with everything I've mentioned today. This neutral color, in my opinion, looks very expensive. It's a beautiful taupe shade that just gives outfits more interest than black or white, while still being neutral. It'll work well with these earthy colors, and then it'll also go really well with bright colors. And this trouser has just been incredibly versatile in the last 6 months or so, maybe, that I've had it. Out of my bottoms, I feel like jeans are probably the ones I would purchase last. They're the kind of things I like to wear in my outfits, and I do wear them, but the moment I get home, I take them off because they're not comfortable to sit and lounge around in. That being said, I do still feel like they are a staple, and this one, which is one of my favorites, is the Levi's Ribcage Straight Ankle Jean, and this one is in like a medium wash blue, which I feel like is one of the most versatile in my wardrobe. For someone who doesn't wear jeans that much, I have tried a lot of jeans, and out of all the styles I've tried, I feel like this ribcage style is definitely one of the first ones I would repurchase. For the jackets I'll repurchase, I've got 4 picks. Honestly, this is what's in my wardrobe, and I wear a lot of navies. But I guess if I only had 4 jackets for now, I would probably choose one of them in a color that's not navy or black. I'm very happy with all of these. I don't know which one I would change. But if these were my only jackets, I would choose something in either a warmer shade or even just a grey. The one that was a no-brainer is my Tibby oversized blazer. I've had this for quite a while now. I talk about it all the time. I wear this one the most out of my blazers. It's super oversized, but with a really nice drop shoulder. And it's not too structured, which I really like. If you're wondering if I was to do this again, whether I would repurchase the Tibby blazer or go for a dupe, my answer is that I would repurchase the Tibby blazer. A blazer for me is not just like any item of clothing. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's one of the pieces I wear the most. And for me, it is worth splurging on more than anything else in my wardrobe. It's also just not easy to find a very oversized blazer like this one is, with a drop shoulder that looks natural on me. And I do like some of the accents, for example, this tab at the back, and then the button on the blazer that allows you to basically cross it over to wear. The best dupe of this blazer would probably be the Arket one. The biggest difference for me is that the Arket one doesn't have a drop shoulder, but beyond that, they're pretty similar. I do always in my jackets like a drop shoulder. I feel like it's a little bit more flattering on my frame versus something overly structured and kind of stiff. The thing that I ummed and ahed about for blazers is whether I should include for my second blazer a check blazer or a belted one. The reason why I chose this over the check blazer is because I've been wearing check blazers for over 5 years. It's a definite staple in my wardrobe, but at the same time, if I didn't have it immediately, I don't feel like I would miss it that much. I feel like I would definitely take a little bit of a break from wearing it. I love all the ones that I have, and they're staples for a reason, but I'll be okay without it for a while after wearing it consistently, I feel like, for 5 years. What I like about this one is that it's a lighter material, so you can wear it spring, summer, and then layer it inside a coat for winter. This fabric is a linen blend, so it just feels really, really nice to wear. The biggest difference in shape is that it's a little bit more relaxed. It does have the drop shoulder, a slightly puffier sleeve, but it's also got a belt. It's very easy to kind of cross it over and then cinch it in at the waist for more definition on the body. It's got these irregular gold buttons that add a nice touch, and I just feel like it's quite a feminine take on a blazer. This is one of my favorite basic finds recently, and it's from the Australian brand Age, spelled A-J-E. I purchased this blazer on sale, and I do believe that it should still be around. If it is, I will link it down below in case you are looking for a lightweight, more casual blazer. These are all hypotheticals, right? So after purchasing this, I would get a check blazer, but I feel like this would be slightly earlier on my list right now. For a more casual jacket, I would do the Sazan Betty cardigan. So this one I will repurchase because it's versatile. And obviously it can be knitwear, worn as a jumper or a cardigan, but I feel like because it has structure, it just works really well as a jacket too. You can wear a t-shirt inside and then layer it over the top, and the shape of it is casual, but it's more structured and defined than your normal cardigan. I added this one because styling wise, all of my jackets are quite dressy, blazers and coats, so this will be my slightly more casual and comfy and relaxed jacket to choose. It's also a little bit of a lighter jacket when it's not super cold outside. My final jacket is my coat from the Curated, and I'm only choosing one coat because I feel like a simple jacket will take you from day to work to evening without any issue. This jacket, because it is simple, I feel like it does all three perfectly, so I did choose this coat over my others. I did think about my plaid coat. I honestly wear that one just as much as this, but that one undeniably leans very casual, very oversized, very cozy, and I feel like this one just suits a lot more occasions. The Curated coat is definitely a splurge, but I also feel like it is one of the best quality coats that I can find at this price point. It's a very nice wool fabrication. It's lightweight because it doesn't have the lining, perfect for Australian weather. Nothing worse than carrying around a thickly lined heavy coat when your climate isn't that cold. I took 2 sizes up in this coat, so it fits me at a really nice length. I just like my coats longer versus shorter. And then it's also got a lot of width, so I can do layering and then put this coat over the top. I like to have a really cozy coat and be able to wrap the 2 sides over each other, and I can do that perfectly with this coat. This coat is really simple in the design, but with the Curated, I feel like the fabrics are always really good, and they just have very, very classic silhouettes. If I was to do it again, I think I would just go back to the Curated. The final category is knitwear, and these are the ones that I would repurchase first. So first up, I would do a very lightweight merino knit. I've got 2 here, but the only reason I added this one is because at the end I looked, everything was really neutral, and I needed at least one pop of color. I chose a medium weight cashmere knit. This one is really versatile, where we want to wear it alone or layered underneath other sweaters. The next one I'll repurchase is a really chunky knit. I don't really care too much about the fabric or the color, but something that has that really chunky look, very cozy and textured, would be my next pick. I would also do a cotton knit, and I would do a stripe, so I combine them in the Leontine. This is the Sazan Leontine. Stripes, cotton, perfect for those in-between seasons, but also a striped knit for me is an absolute essential. This red merino knit is from Arquette, and it's a very lightweight, slightly sheer merino knit that I really love because of the color. It's also practical for layering and for warmth, but the color is what I was originally drawn to. I love wearing this underneath different sweaters, so you can see a little bit of the neckline. It just adds a nice pop of color that I feel like is essential to my style. This is a perfect example of a more functional piece. It's perfect for being cozy and being warm, but at the same time, there are lots of things you can do with it to make your outfits more stylish. I will admit that my preferred merino knit is definitely still the Uniqlo ones. I feel like at the Uniqlo price point, it's definitely a little bit more substantial and thicker than the Arquette. These are very similarly priced, but this is thicker. I've also had this one for about 3-4 years, so I know it's durable, I know it lasts, and I haven't had an issue with mine in all this time. The next knit I will repurchase is something like this one. This is the cashmere knit from the Curated. The cashmere knit is again one of my favorite wardrobe pieces because it's just so luxurious. This one is medium weight, not super thin. I would wear this as a layering piece for function. I would definitely just style this by itself. It's got that cute mock neck detail. It's also got this kind of split on the sleeve that I really like. So tuck it into a pair of pants, put a belt on it, throw on the jacket, and that's my winter look. Why did I decide to repurchase this knit over others? I feel like this one is slightly more substantial, it's a little bit thicker, so it's a really nice next step up from my merino ones. The really thin cashmere knits, I kind of use them only for layering, whereas this one you can layer, but you can also wear alone. The next item I would definitely repurchase is a chunkier knit, and this one is from Tibby. This is one of the ones that isn't available anymore, but they do similar ones. And then our Cats also has a lot of good dupes of this. Nothing looks as wintry or as luxurious as something chunky. So styling wise and practicality wise, this is something I would definitely add. I was really lucky to find this Tibby knit in the sales, and this one is actually cashmere, but if I couldn't find it in the sales, then any wool knits will do. The final knit I'll repurchase is the Cezanne Leontine. This one I just feel like I wear all the time because it's easy. Functionality wise, this is a really versatile weight in the climate I live in. Really not that cold. So this is a knit I can wear all year round. In winter, I might do a merino knit underneath. In summer, I might have a tank top and put this on at night. I can also open up all the buttons. This is one of the only knitwear pieces here that I genuinely reach for close to year round. For styling, because I have a lot of block colors here, the stripe just breaks it up a little bit. Obviously it works with the silk skirts. It has a bit more of a relaxed shape, which goes really well. It'll work with the trousers. I will tuck it in and then do a belt. It's also so simple that it'll go underneath any jacket, any coats, with no fall at all. Those are the 20 pieces that I would start with if I was building my wardrobe from scratch, if I lost everything or if nothing fit anymore. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, I would love you to go give it a like and consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like some of my other videos, and I'm gonna share a couple here. Have a lovely week ahead, and I'll see you next one.